Have you ever looked around at the other teams at your work and wondered how they got filled with such motivated high performers that seem to just gel together? That when you look at your own team, that it has a bunch of skill and talent, but they're just not performing at that same level? Well, the secret isn't bonuses, it's not extra time off, and it's certainly not elaborate team building programs. Now, in this episode, we reveal how leaders can tap into individual strengths and create high performance teams and keep that top talent from leaving. So don't miss out on this game-changing strategy. Let's dive right into a scenario. All right, so here's the problem. A team is responsible for developing a new marketing campaign for a product launch. They've been working on the campaign for several weeks, and this is what they've created. Here's the visual. A beautiful woman is walking down the beach. Her hair's blowing in the wind. She's wearing a bikini and sunglasses. She looks incredibly happy and confident. And you hear a voiceover. Do you want to be like her? Do you want to be happy and confident and beautiful? Then you need to use our product. And the text shows up on the screen and it says, our product is the only one that can give you the confidence and beauty that you've always wanted. Order yours today. Now, the team finished the campaign, but something was off. They go and they turn on the TV and they see the same style ad running from all of their competitors. And they even look back and see a similar trend in their own marketing campaign Rolodex. It hits them. This campaign, it's cliche. It's overplayed. It uses all the same old tropes that everyone's seen a million times. The beautiful woman, the beach, the voiceover that promises happiness and confidence, and the text that tells us that our product is the only one that can help us. It's all been done before, and the campaign is going to bomb. So what usually happens now, at this point, what decisions do we see typically take hold? Well, one common one that I've seen is what we've come to talk about in the industry is the IBM Effect. Now, there's an old and likely apocryphal story of a person, I don't know, let's call her Sarah for the sake of conversation. Sarah has been tasked by her boss to search for new computers for her office. And Sarah begins to conduct research and sees that IBMs are the status quo across every other office in their business and even across various industries. She then finds a new startup who's created a computer to compete with IBM. Now, this computer has significantly reduced the rate of failure and maintenance requirements, and the processing speed is significantly higher. Better yet, because this startup is looking to make a name for itself and to break into the market, they're offering a highly discounted price for offices who are willing to take their systems on, making them even cheaper than IBM. So what does Sarah do? She picks IBM. Why? Well, nobody ever got fired for buying an IBM. You see, the new systems could have worked better than the IBMs and even have been cheaper, but all it would take is one lemon in the bunch, or even a series of small inconveniences that would have been less than IBM would have produced, which sparks the wonder from the boss. Why did we get all these systems from this startup when there's a proven computer out there that everyone else is using? So what's the moral of the story? There's comfort in failing together. It's the same reason why we huddle in groups when we sense danger. And that is even true for trained Navy SEALs. And this is referenced by Jocko Willink. I was just reading his book, or I should say listening. Let's be real. I was listening to his book. The book is, I think it's Leadership Tactics and Strategies, Field Manual, something of that line. So you'll see a link for it in the show notes. No affiliate link there, just a great book that I think you guys would really enjoy. But in here, Jocko talks in great detail about training his guys out of this habit. When chaos engulfs a SEAL team, they need to maintain tactical distance or space between each of the members so as to not become prey of one lucky lone mortar round, which will not just sink the mission, but will likely result in a mass casualty event. So back to the marketing team. How can they overcome the IBM effect and regain a tactical advantage? See here, this is where a good leader delegates responsibility. But a great leader knows his or her team members on an individual and group level. They understand their strengths. This is how a leader may leverage the known character strengths of their team members in order to shake off that tired trope of a woman walking down the beach. Now let's introduce you to the team members of this marketing team. And in this example, we're going to be looking at leveraging wisdom-oriented character strengths with sprinkles of other character strengths. And you'll see in the show notes below that I have provided a link to the VIA Character Institute, or Institute on Character. It's something like that. You'll see the link, viacharacter.org, I think. But it's down in the show notes. There you'll be able to see the full breakout of all of the categories of character strengths and all of the individual strengths themselves. And you're actually able to get access to a survey that we'll talk about later. But back to our team. So let's say the first member is Luke. And Luke is a creative thinker with a great sense of humor. Humor falls into the category of transcendence. This is something that a great leader knows. He's always coming up with new ideas, which shows creativity, which encodes into wisdom. And he's willing to take risks. Bravery encodes to courage. Note, I didn't say that Luke was not afraid to take risks. I said he was willing to take risks. Because here's the thing, here's the difference, little sidebar. If Luke was unafraid to take risks, then this would not be an act of bravery or courage, because bravery is stepping up and taking action in the face of perceived danger or risk. But if he doesn't feel that risk and he's just making choices regardless anyway, then that's not bravery. He's just operating as he normally does. Now, next team member, John. John's a curious and analytic thinker, which shows a character strength of curiosity, which encodes under wisdom. He's also always asking questions and is always looking for new information because he acknowledges that he does not always have the best answer, which shows humility, which encodes under temperance. Right? When I'm saying encodes, or it links to, humility is the individual character strength, and then it encodes under a category of strengths, and that category in this instance is temperance. Earlier, we were talking about curiosity, like it encodes under the category of wisdom. Bravery is in the category of courage. Then we look at Matthew. Matthew's a good judge of character, and don't get it twisted. This isn't me. If you've caught the trend of the name so far, there's a sneaky little happening that's going on right now. I'm sure you guys have already picked it up. But Matthew is a good judge of character. He's able to see the strengths and weaknesses of people in general, which shows social intelligence, which encodes to humanity. And he's able to build relationships with people from different backgrounds, which shows leadership, which encodes to justice. Our last team member, Mark, loves to learn new things. He's always reading and taking courses, and he's always eager to share his knowledge with others, which shows a love of learning and curiosity. Both of those encode under wisdom. It also shows zest, because he's excited about learning and he wants to share it with others. And zest encodes under courage. So let's talk about how they can use their character strengths to solve the problem. So Luke uses his creativity to come up with new ideas for the campaign. He suggests using humor and storytelling to connect with the target audience. John uses his curiosity to research the target audience itself, because how can you connect with a target audience if you don't know who they are? Right? So he learns about their interests and their needs and their pain points, solving the pain points. And then Matthew uses his judgment to assess the strengths and weaknesses of the campaign. He helps the team to identify what is working and what's not working. And finally, Mark uses his love of learning to research the latest trends in marketing. So he shares his knowledge with the team and helps them to stay ahead of the curve and stay on the bleeding edge of new tactics and strategies, things that break away from those tropes that they have found themselves falling into. That makes this campaign creative, engaging, and ultimately, what matters, effective. Now, they're proud of their work and they're confident that the campaign will be a success. That's great, right? But I can hear some of you saying out there. I hear some rebuttals, and not even necessarily rebuttals, but the what about me? I don't have a marketing team. We're in sales, or I'm in production, or anything else that's not marketing. So how does this apply to me? Don't worry, I got you. Let me extract some fundamental takeaways here for everybody. First, assign tasks that play to team member strengths. As we're talking about this and we start to reveal some of these extractions, it sounds very obvious, but it's something that, when we're under stress or under pressure, we can tend to forget, or if we don't know those strengths, we didn't take the time to learn them, to be connected with our teams, this can be very difficult or impossible to do because you don't know what they are. So, again, assign tasks that play to the team member's strengths. For example, if a team member is strong in creativity, they could be assigned to come up with a new idea for a project. Next, provide opportunities for the team members to use their strengths to help others. This could involve giving them opportunities to mentor new team members or to lead projects. Also, give them opportunities to help themselves. Now, this goes right into the next part. Give them an opportunity to shine by thinking about the character strengths that stand out and putting them in a position to embrace those strengths and shine in front of their peers and, more importantly, their leadership. You want your people to shine, because when your people shine, you shine. And that brings the team together. That gives you those highly motivated, totally cohesive teams that are full of high performers that we were talking about in the beginning. Next, we want to think about, what happens after that? What happens after they shine? Well, we want to celebrate the members' strengths. This could involve, giving them public recognition or simply taking the time to thank them for their contributions. Getting real specific, and we talked about this before, we'll talk about it again, but those kind of the key characteristics of effective praise, are timeliness and specificity and relevance. I think that's so automatic that, you want the praise to be relevant to what you're thanking them for. That kind of goes into the specificity part of it, but you want to be specific. It's not like, you did a great job in that marketing campaign, or you did a great job on sales this month. Like, what do you mean? You called 100 people and somehow you managed to get 70% of them to make some sort of a purchase or commitment. That's incredible. I took the time to actually listen to how you read the script, and it was your enthusiasm and your familiarity with how to manage objections from those people. So when you're going into that next level of depth and that next level of specificity, it really makes a profound difference. And you also want to make sure that you're doing this at least in, some sort of a timely manner. Like if somebody set an all-time personal record or a company record for sales in January of 2023, giving them that praise now is going to be weird and off-putting, and it's not going to have the same impact that it would have had otherwise. But also, the praise and recognition can happen behind closed doors between leaders. Brag about your folks. Talk about your team when they succeed. But if you're up and running and you've had your team for a while, you might be thinking, well, how can I figure out their character strengths? Like, if I don't already know it, am I going to be coming off as disingenuous or some manufactured interest? How can I do it? How can I figure out the character strengths of all my individuals and how they mesh together? Well, I talked about it earlier, that link that's in the show notes, viacharacter.org is the link. And once you go to that website, there'll be a big orange button on the top right that says, take free survey in all capital letters. Make this an assignment for your team. Have them go and hop onto the website. It's completely free. Have them take the survey and bring in their results. And then you can either just have them turn them into you and you don't turn it into some sort of team building event, or you do turn it into a team building event. Like I said, not some crazy elaborate at the Four Seasons, top dollar event. You can do that. But the main goal here is for you as the leader to understand their character strengths, to talk with them about that and to see how they feel about how their results turned out. And you can even turn that just simple conversation into a team building event that we can talk about. All right, list your top 5, what VIA calls your signature character strengths. Like, list your top 5 on the board and circle the ones in green that you think are spot on, and circle the ones in red that you think don't deserve a place so high up in the list. And it even shows you, it breaks down when you take the survey. It even breaks down, your signature, your top 5 character strengths. It gives you your middle strengths, and it shows you your lower strengths. I think that's what they're called, lower strengths, or lesser strengths. They do a good job of avoiding saying weaknesses, and because they see everything as a strength, it's just a matter of degree. Like what degree of strength do you have in this? So you have strength there in these. It's just not as pronounced and frequent in your actions and in your behaviors. But you can do that. You can turn it into a fun game. You can even have people guess and put up, what they think, like, for each person. What do you think their strengths were? And you have all the list of strengths out in front of you that you can find, again, on that website. All of this is great, but without understanding your own character strengths and how to leverage them, it can be almost impossible to pull them out of your team in a meaningful way. Like, yeah, you can have them turn in these surveys and you can look at it, but if you haven't done your own deep dive into each of the character strengths, or at least yours, and you taking the survey and you reviewing your results, it can be darn near impossible to pull them out of your team. Now, the beautiful part about this is that it should really only take you like 5 or 10 minutes max. And my only guidance here is don't overthink it. Go with your first thought, go with your gut reaction, and just see what results it pulls. And then you can make your own kind of assessment based on what you see for yourself. And no, there are no weaknesses. Like I said, there's signature strengths, there's middle strengths, and there's lesser strengths. And all of these are critical to understand, and we'll be discussing them in the very next episode of the Real Resilience Podcast. So check out the next show when we turn the looking glass of character strengths around into selfie mode.